Strikeforce Technologies helps to prevent cyber theft and data breaches for governments, consumers, also companies. And with me is George Waller, the Executive Vice President and co-founder of the company. Welcome, George.
Well, thank you so much, Jane, for having me.
So let's just start with, I understand that you were recently upgraded to the OTCQB, and you're looking possibly for a NASDAQ listing at some point. So can you bring us up to date on that?
Sure. Strikeforce has been a fully reporting company since we became public, which was in 2005. And even though we were on the pink sheets, we found it extremely critical for both investor confidence to report our financials and any and all regulatory filings. This way there was total transparency. So what we feel is now building on that investor confidence by now meeting the OTCQB's listing requirements should, one, give our investors, a lot of confidence in the company, and two, it helps us as we move up to the next step, which is to get onto NASDAQ. So the CEO and the rest of the team is looking at the requirements, NASDAQ requirements, so that as soon as we can meet them, we'll be filing to get on the NASDAQ.
Okay, well, that would be great to see you there when I go back and ring the opening bell. So that would be awesome. Now, when I was reading a little bit about you, I thought, cyber theft, data breaches, what a hot business to be in. Unfortunately, but it's, necessary and something that we're dealing with on a daily basis. Now, it seems like you've had at least 3 major pieces of good news lately. So can you kind of expand on that a little bit?
Sure. Jane, it's probably been about 23 pieces of news, but I'll bring it down to a short list of like 3 or 4. So the first one is that we had a very successful raise via a Reg A of $2.5 million in the latter part of 2020, which, if you think about 2020, what was going on and people going out there to raise money, the fact that we raised the money so quickly, and it's exactly because of what you said, which is all that's going on with cyber breaches and data theft and what the hackers are doing. So a lot of people felt very confident in us that they immediately took part of our Reg A. We also launched after that Reg A, we launched a second Reg A of raising $7.5 million just recently, and that is going as successful as the first one. And what that helped us to do, Jane, is it helped us to launch our 2 key products right now, which is our Safety Chat and our Privacy Lock. And I'm sure we'll talk about those products a little bit further. And additional really good news is that if you think about the company, in the beginning of last year, or in fact, in the beginning of this year, our stock was sub-penny. In fact, it had a bunch of zeros in front of it, like 0.0001. That's where we were sitting. Then our stock shot up. We're now averaging over 5 cents on a daily basis. And one of the most exciting parts of our, of our recent news is that we were able to actually pay off all of our toxic debt.
Oh, wow.
So we are no more toxic debt. We have money in the bank. We have, marketing programs that we just launched. And I'm sure you're going to ask questions about those things.
Yeah, we will. Well, and congratulations on paying off the debt. So I know that's always like a headache, and have that out of the way. And now you can focus on, growth or hiring or research or whatever it is that you need to expand. So now also you just recently made a purchase, an acquisition, Cybersecurity Risk Solutions. So what does that mean for Strikeforce?
Okay, well, CRS is a leader in pre-breach and post-breach services. And what it means for Strikeforce is that this company has a set of services that both we could offer out to the Strikeforce customers, as well as they've been spending years building their own channel. In fact, we recently announced this, so I'll be glad to, tell you about it, is that they recently inked a deal with J.A. Connors and James A. Connors, and which is a mid-market P&C insurance broker. And now Connors is offering out CRS's software to all of their customers. And this all flows back up to Strikeforce Technologies because they're a 100% wholly owned subsidiary of Strikeforce. So not only do they help Strikeforce directly by, we can take their services and embed it into our products moving forward, but it helps us from, they have their own channel that they're going after with their cyber services. So it's a two-way street, it's reciprocal, and it's, we're really excited now that they have launched their program with James A. Connors. And so we expect some really good news out of that.
Okay. Now, you briefly mentioned Safe vChat. So that's a video conferencing tool. How would you compare that to like Zoom and Microsoft Teams and some of the other video conferencing tools that have become so popular during the pandemic?
Sure. Yeah. If you think about what happened with the pandemic, right? Everyone went into their homes, their basements, their attics, garages, right? We all started working from home. That's when we actually developed our Safe vChat. When the pandemic hit, we, just like everyone, because we're located in Edison, New Jersey, Edison, especially New Jersey, was one of the first places really hit hard, if you remember back then. And what had happened was, we were dealing with customers, we were dealing with, potential customers, we were dealing with ourselves using all these video conferencing solutions. We were using Zoom, we were using WebEx, we were using Meet Me Now and Join Me and Zoho and BlueJeans. We tried every one of them. And Jane, we didn't feel secure in any one of them. Not a single one did we feel good or safe or secure. And when we were talking with customers, for example, a customer had a data breach and they're calling us to now use our technology, we didn't feel comfortable talking over a video conference with a potential customer because none of the systems protected the data. They didn't protect to make sure that only the customer was the only one that could log in. They didn't protect my desktop. They didn't protect my camera, my microphone. They didn't protect my speakers. So anything that the customer was saying could be heard if I had spyware on my computer. And so what the CTO started, Ram, our CTO, he started looking into and saying, why is there no strong security-backed or security-minded video conferencing solution? And the answer was actually, it was almost overwhelming. It was that there isn't a single cybersecurity vendor that built a video conferencing solution, and there's no video conferencing solution that was ever built by a cybersecurity vendor. That's why all of the video conferencing solutions out there are so ineffective when it comes to security. So what the CTO realized is that we had the tools, we had the knowledge and the expertise to actually build that safe, secure video conferencing solution. So that's exactly what we did. We spent the last year, a little over a year, in building our Safe vChat, which we feel, and based on all the research that we can do, it's the most secure video conferencing solution in the world commercially available today. And not only is our video conferencing solution the most secure, because we make every person do multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication, logging into, if you're a meeting manager or you're meeting creator, setting up that meeting, or you're someone participating, we make those folks go through, multi-factor authentication. But the other thing is, we also built our second product, our Privacy Lock. And Jane, what that does is it locks down my camera, my microphone, my audio speakers out, my keyboard, clipboard, and it prevents unwanted screenshots. And those things are what is important and needed in protecting video conferences today. And by the way, Jane, just a couple of months ago, both the FBI and the DOJ put out a press release saying that hackers are going after video conferencing users because video conferencing has become the new normal. Yeah. And therefore, the hackers are now going after that to exploit it. Why? Because of everything that's being discussed over it. Oh, sure. So building this new secure video conferencing solution was absolutely imperative to make sure that everything you do now is secure when you're on a video conference.
Oh yeah, no, I can see how that would be trade secrets, things like that, people would.
Intellectual property. How about healthcare? How about, military, obviously, right? But what about financial services? Everyone is, adopted this new hybrid model of working and via a video conference. Therefore, all that data needs to be protected. And we are the only ones. SafetyChat is the only one, only product in the world that offers out that level of security. Bar none, if you took all of our competitors together, they still don't equate or equal the amount of security we have in our solution.
Interesting. And clearly you think that video conferencing is part of the future. I mean, I do. I think it's here to stay. I mean, we'll go back to the office and all that, but it's just, for some things, it's just a great solution. And how do you see the industry?
Well, funny that you should ask that. So in December of 2019, right before the pandemic hit, every year there are published analytic reports, right, that say how big an industry is going to grow. So in 2019, there was an analyst report on video conferencing and how did they think it was going to grow over the next 5 years. And so the estimate was that video conferencing was going to grow from about $2.5 billion in 2019 to about $5 to $6 billion by 2025. All right, it's a fair amount of growth over the next 5 years. When the pandemic hit, they went back to the table, they reanalyzed it, and they readjusted those numbers to $60+ billion.
Goodness.
Yeah, so it is growing. It is the hockey stick up. That's where it is. It's at that point right now. And even crazier than that, they predicted that by the end of the decade, that 50% of the world's workers would be using video conferencing on a daily basis.
Wow.
That's bad.
I don't doubt it at all. I mean, it's actually been one of the things that's allowed me to stay in business. So, I mean, I think a lot of people.
All of us. Right?
Yes. So now you mentioned privacy lock. So tell me what that is. How does that work?
Okay. Privacy lock, while SafetyChat is the exciting one, right? Because it's video conferencing, we all do it every day. Privacy lock is probably the most important software that any Windows computer in the world, Windows users should be using. Because what Privacy Lock does is it locks down your camera, it locks down your microphone, it locks down your audio speakers out, it locks down your keyboard, your clipboard, and prevents unwanted screenshots. So what that does is it makes our SafetyChat even more secure, because now, even if I was a hacker and I was able to get spyware onto your computer, I don't even need to log into your video conference. I could just watch the audio stream by infecting your computer. I could listen to what you're saying, but more importantly, I could listen to what everyone else is saying just by using that spyware. I could listen to your microphone. So I could watch what's being said between multiple parties. I can listen to what I'm saying, but more importantly, I can listen to what everyone else is saying. And then there's locking down the keyboard. If you get that spyware, most likely it has a keylogger, and it's going to steal anything you type. It's going to steal screenshots. So what we did, Jane, is we built a solution that locks down all of those pieces, and we bundle it with SafetyChat. We call it a SafetyChat Premium, and it gives you both of them. You can get SafetyChat by itself, but you can get the Premium, which includes the Privacy Lock, which makes you super secure, or you could buy Privacy Lock by itself. Now, the coolest thing about Privacy Lock is not only does it make SafetyChat more secure, it protects you when you're on Zoom. It protects you when you're on WebEx or Meet Me Now or Teams. So Privacy Lock actually makes all of our competitors' software more secure. We make them more secure than they are now. So when you buy a SafetyChat, and the reason why we built it that way is we know that when people buy SafetyChat, and let's say they buy the premium version with Privacy Lock, we know they're going to also be invited to other people's, conferences.
Very true.
Therefore, we can protect them when they're on someone else's conference.
I see. Mm-hmm. So if
And
they
that's
don't have
important.
VChat, they have some other video conferencing service, they're still protected. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if a company just spent $500,000 and they just integrated, they spent the last year, integrated Microsoft Teams or one of the other programs, well, guess what? We can now make that acquisition that they rolled out, we can make it more secure by protecting those cameras, because guess what? They're not protecting your camera. They're not protecting your microphone. They're not protecting what the client is saying. So, but we can, regardless of which solution you're using. That's what's so exciting about Privacy Lock.
Okay, very interesting. Now, I understand you have a marketing campaign coming up with American Eagle. What's that about?
Yeah, this is from a marketing person. I'm really excited about this. So we spent the last several months, we're looking at, we interviewed all the major digital marketing companies around the world because we raised this money. Now what we want to do is obviously we got to start marketing the products. We went out, we hired a channel manager, we hired sales folks in here now. And now what we do is we put on American Eagle to basically deploy a complete digital marketing strategy for us. So they're actually we're finishing up a brand new website. And meanwhile, starting next week, starting on Monday, Tuesday, we're starting all of our digital marketing. We'll be marketing, obviously Google AdWords like everyone does. We'll be doing Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. So we have a complete digital marketing strategy that they developed with us, inclusive of radio. We're looking into TV now as well. So we're going to have a full assault attack out there on letting everyone out there know about SafetyChat, Privacy Lock. Those two products we want to tell the world about.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's needed. That kind of security is needed because this is going to be a part of the way we work for the future. So thank you so much, George. Very interesting.
I appreciate it. And I just want to say, thank you so much for giving us the time to talk. This means so much to us. Strikeforce, we spent 20 years trying to make the world a safer place. And that's all we do. We don't do anything else but cybersecurity. We eat, drink, and sleep cybersecurity. Where, when Jack Nicklaus says, you need me on that wall, we're those guys. You need us on that wall because that's all we care about is cybersecurity. We don't do anything else but we want to protect you, your family at home, as well as in work. And we have a suite of products that help both you as a home user, you as a worker working remotely, and as an enterprise. We have solutions to make all of you very safe and secure.
Okay.
So I thank you for the opportunity to share that.
Thank you. Great to hear about the company.
Thank you so much.